Hi, okay, welcome back. So as you can see, I've made a little bit more progress on my cabinet. I have one unit done, as you can see. I still have two more units to go, but I was able to construct one. Now this is not totally finished. All of these drawers are all the same, even the ones that are in there. They don't have the plexiglass on yet. I wanted to wait to attach that because like I was worried that it would get scratched in the process of testing and trying it out. When I was putting in these drawers, they were getting really stuck and they're really tough to put in. I can't put the bottom ones in because I didn't think ahead when I moved all my wood closer, so I can't put in the bottom ones yet. But the drawers, when I was putting them in, they were getting stuck and they were a little tough to put in. And then when I tried to pull them out again, they were again tough to pull out. But after I, pulled it in and out a few times, it seemed to work a little bit better. So I'm wondering if when I'm installing the sliders, there's it's like this sticky, greasy gunk that's on the sliders to make them, I think, slide well. I'm wondering if that's getting rubbed off on me as I assemble all of this stuff, and that's making it difficult for the sliders to move. Because as far as I know, mathematically, I calculated everything exactly, with half-inch clearance in between each of the, between the drawer and the cabinet piece. So technically, everything is half an inch apart. I don't know why it's not exactly perfect, but I'm hopefully going to figure that out. I don't know. So, we'll see as I put together the second two cabinets. Now that the drawer sliders are all on, because I only had a little time to work today, I'll try and, as I'm putting the top and bottom pieces and spacing them out, put in the drawers so I make sure that I'm not like misspacing everything. Just a couple of notes. When I was building this, pretty much most of my dimensions were accurate except for the back piece, because so I put the top and bottom directly on top of the side piece. So here's the side piece, and I put the top piece right directly on top of it. And when I did that, I forgot to calculate the back piece to include the extra 3/4 of an inch here and the 3/4 of an inch on the bottom. So it looks kind of weird. Also, the wood somehow went lopsided. I think it either was cut badly or maybe I just really suck at this. But it ended up being kind of weird and sticking out on an edge, and I don't know. So the back doesn't look super finished, but maybe when I get into more cabinet building in a couple of days, I'll go back and fix it. I don't know. We'll see. But so far it looks pretty good. I can show you some of the drawers coming out. So as you can see, I put the sliders on. So a little information about the sliders. I really wanted a side mount so they wouldn't interfere with my plexiglass plans, because I plan to attach the plexiglass on the top here and on the bottom right here, and then maybe in the middle. So I didn't want them to, like the screws that I'm using for the plexiglass, to interfere with this piece. So I just kind of planned for the sliders to be in the middle. Now, the way I ended up doing it was, so these sliders, the top of the slider is 3, and I don't know exactly how much, but if you take a 1/2 inch and you take one notch in front of that, I think it's like a 1/16 or something, or an 1/8. The next notch on a standard ruler. Let's see, got my ruler right here. Okay. So if you have this ruler, it's like that first notch right there where my finger is. That's where I set the height. I basically went in and I planned how high I wanted my drawers to be, and I did it manually. There's no particular preference for these sliders. You could have put them on the base, like right here. I just didn't want to do it because I'd already screwed in a screw right there, and I didn't want to mess with that, just in case the screws overlapped. So I set them a little higher. On my cabinet itself, let's see where these things are. So what I did is I started at the bottom of the piece, and I measured 4 inches from the bottom. Then every foot I measured another 4 inches from the bottom of that foot to hopefully even space my drawers. And so far I have to say they look pretty good. Fairly even spaced, good distance in between. They're fairly lined up. maybe a little adjustment here or there, but honestly, I'm pretty good with it. I might adjust it as and how, like, again, when I have a little time in a couple of days, I might adjust, but for now, I think it's pretty good. So my next steps are to assemble the other two cabinets, make adjustments to this one, you know, if there's anything lopsided, and try and see if I can solve the back clearance issue, because it's sticking more towards the back. So I'm wondering if that might be a thing. I'm not sure. So I'm going to play around with it and see. And then once all the other cabinets are built, the other two units, I'm going to go ahead and attach the plexiglass and the handles on the drawers. The plexiglass is going to go on first, and then I'm going to attach the handles to this bottom half-inch piece right here. So I figure, like, I didn't want it to be on the plexiglass, because if I pull too hard and there's 100 pounds of weight behind it, it might break the plexiglass. So I figure securing it to the wood is probably the best thing. There aren't too many front mount drawer slides or drawer handles, but you kind of have to just pick from what you have, because rear mount doesn't work in this scenario, because rear mount would then be rear mounted to the plexiglass, because this thing, like here, there's going to be plexiglass, and then you're going to fit a comic in here. So you can't rear mount through this, because there's going to be a comic in between. So, you know, it is how it is. So I'll check in with you guys later when I get back to this and when I've done a little bit more. All right. Thank you. Bye.